Hey everybody, I'm Sean.
Nice.
And this is Laffy McGee here. Welcome to episode 17.
17
17 episodes of Running Rampant.
Woo.
Little show that takes you behind the scenes of Rampant Design. That's us right here. Also talks a little bit about small business and small business life. And of course, we open ourselves up to questions from you, our fine furry friends on the interwebs.
That's right.
And of course, now we're live, which is like, what, this is like the second or third episode?
I think so, yeah. This might be...
So, and we've already got 10 people on. That's not bad. Not bad at all. So everyone, thank you for watching. And so what are we, what's going on with Rampant right now? Before we get into our topics, what's going on with the company?
Well, we had a great 4th of July sale, which was awesome, and got a lot of good feedback from that, which is great. And we took a week off.
Yeah, we actually went to the Dominican Republic, spent some time with the family, and it was fun. It was fun to get away.
It was nice.
Although I should have thought about this before, but we should have flashed a picture of you in the middle of the Dominican Republic with a laptop answering customer service. So it really never stops.
Yeah.
So.
It was a good time.
Hey, Kevin. So Kevin's bummed out that we've switched sides. So here's the deal. Stephanie's doing all the technical stuff now. She's doing all the switching and the technical direction. She told me that because I end up talking more, especially on the other show that we do, I talk more to the customer, to the guest. She doesn't want me fidgeting with the stuff. So she's
because he talks more than me, so I'll do all the switching.
Which in reality is not true, but yes.
Yes, but on the show he talks more than me, and so I'm doing all the switching now. We have a whole new system, new. We are going with a different program, and it's a lot better. As you can see, we have. Look down here, we have actual animated lower thirds, which is pretty cool. So we're excited about that.
Yeah, we're always testing. We haven't abandoned any software or adopted any software just quite yet, but we're testing. We got some complaints about there being some significant lag last time, so we're testing out something new based on advice from our good friend Dave from iOgrapher.
That's correct.
We're giving this one a shot, and you know what? Live streaming's fun. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Eric says, so she's the brains of the outfit. That's what you're saying. Absolutely. I just work here. I'm the first person to say that. I literally just work here. Stephanie does everything else. If we line listed, like, it'll say Sean works here, and then Stephanie. It just keeps going. So, yes, that's the truth, and I'll be the first person to admit that. I'm not taking credit for what she does, and this thing would not be afloat if it wasn't for her. So,
that's not true, but...
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're in the midst of we're about to collab again with a big company. Can't talk about it yet, but that's about to drop, and we've got some new stuff for Premiere coming out. There's just a lot of cool stuff in the works right now. We're like right in the middle of R&D and development, and so it's going to be cool. But so yeah, we're doing the live thing. We were gone for a week, so thank you for all the love. We got a lot of emails saying, "Hey, where's the show?" So that's kind of strange and kind of awesome. So yeah, so what's this week's topics? What are this week's topics?
We're talking about constantly evolving, giving up, and building your circle. So,
yes, for kids.
Okay.
She doesn't get that reference.
I don't.
So sad.
No, I get it now. It's that movie with the hula hoop.
That movie with the hula hoop.
Yeah, I got it.
So yes. Hey, Dave, how's it going? Yes, we are slightly refreshed. It wasn't the best in terms of vacations. It was weird. It wasn't super relaxing, but it was a lot of fun and very entertaining. Think of it like camping on the side of a freeway. That's basically how I would describe it.
Best resort?
The ocean was fantastic. Love the ocean, but
yes.
It was just weird. It was not for us. A bunch of disgrace. What's a disgrace? Oh, probably the fact that you don't know.
Oh, the hula hoop movie. I remember.
I agree. That's grounds for something. I don't know. We should have like a dunk tank. Like if she doesn't know really a popular movie reference, just you all vote and hit a button. Splash. I can't be the one who does that, so because I would just hit the button. That's just how I roll. All right. See, I like the live aspect of the show. It's a lot more interesting for the people watching. Now the people listening to the podcast will be like, get on with it. So. Yeah, so let's talk first about constantly evolving. This comes about because we have a lot of friends who have started businesses and have kind of just subsequently walked away from them, either out of frustration, being tired. I won't say too much about this specific business because I don't want this person to get mad, but we had a friend who ultimately sold DVDs. It doesn't matter what's on the DVD, but their business model was basically putting stuff on DVD for customers, right? And that was great. For the longest time, made mad money, made crazy money. Couldn't believe how much money he was making. And then all of a sudden, slowly and then more rapidly stopped making money because the customers wanted it online. and they started asking for things. Hey, can I get this online? It's like, how do I watch this online? People stopped buying DVDs. And it was a long time coming. You saw the writing on the wall. So he had probably a year and a half to 2 years. If he had done it 2 years, he'd have been an early adopter and been pushing this movement. And if he had done it recently, he'd be just chasing it. But my point is, he decided not to evolve, not to research. The minimal research he did was just disappointing to him. So now to sell things online digitally is real easy. So it was really sad to watch. And to this day, the company's site is up, but he's really not doing anything with it. And that's sad because he was making really, really good money. So what I'm talking about here is just constantly evolve. If your customers want something new or the world evolves and change with it. Try to change ahead of it if you can. That's even better. But just to put your hands in your pockets, shrug your shoulders, and walk away, that's absurd to me. It's easy to get discouraged, but constantly ebbing and flowing. And if your competitors are now offering things digitally and you were doing things physically, well, look into it. At one point, he was even offered to sell the company, basically sell his client list, and he was offended by that. And now he has no options. So, find an exit strategy, but definitely constantly keep looking and evolving. And this goes both personally and professionally, right?
Right. Yeah. Be flexible. Don't just, if something has to come up and you have to change, you kind of have to change. Just like this live broadcast, we started out doing, we started out with Blab, which was terrible. It just never worked. It's a great idea, but it just didn't work for what we needed it to work. So then we said, okay, well, let's check out Facebook Live. Well, how do we do that? Okay. So we started doing it through iOS devices and doing it wirelessly, and then realizing that there's such a lag for Skype callers, which is what we were doing. So then we're like, now we have to research how to get them to have a minimal or a less lag. So we're now here. So it's just sort of been
well, and it starts with the company too. We started originally doing standard def and high def stuff, right?
Yeah.
And then on DVD.
Right?
And then a certain company, which I call EvoCorp, decided to take our stuff, market it as their own, and then try to tell the world that we approve that.
Right.
Didn't happen.
Did not do that.
So instead of getting discouraged, I got discouraged, don't get me wrong. I was huddled in a corner crying like a baby for like a year. But instead of going, okay, well, I'm done, I said, screw it. And I went ahead and we were one of the first people to bring, or if not the first people to bring 5K to the market, and brought 2K, 4K, and 5K, and kind of just walked away from HD going, okay, we've got to find some different spin on this thing. It's just, and we started doing hard drives as well. We did hard drives before the theft happened. So, you're just constantly changing things. Nowadays, if you bought any of our volumes on DVD, it would be like, disc 1 of 37.
It would be so
and I would love to field those customer service calls. So, yeah, just constantly evolve. And there's nothing, the older you get, at least for me, the harder it is for me to learn something. But that's foolish to stop in our industry because, there's new software every quarter, right?
Yep.
And you went from doing customer service to learning web code.
Right. So when we started, Sean was doing everything at the beginning, and I saw the whole of customer service with Sean, and Sean doesn't do as well talking to people as maybe I would. So I thought, well, I would take over doing customer service for him.
Putting it very nicely too.
I was trying to be nice about that.
I don't handle it when someone's like, your stuff is stupid.
So I started with customer service. There was a hole there. And then we switched over from Sean was doing a Joomla site, and that evolved to being, WordPress was a little bit faster. So we did WordPress, and I was like, well, I can take this as well. So let me learn how to do this. And I was actually interested in learning it. So that start customer service, then to web design, and then you start filling in wherever else you need. Then we were like, well, we need Final Cut, somebody to know Final Cut. And I was like, well, I'll learn that next. Why not? It's a software. I'd already learned Premiere. And so I taught myself Final Cut, and then now just learned how to do motion. So it's like when there's a hole, you have to fill it, and you have to kind of fill it fast. You don't really have time to sit around and sort of think about it. And should I do this? Should I do that? No, you have to do it. You don't really have a choice.
Yeah, if you look at business, it's people want to think that business is like a car, but I like to think of it as a boat. You're constantly course correcting. You're trying to go straight, but everything's pushing you left or right, or backwards even, and you just have to constantly course correct. So there's nothing wrong with that. But people who are steadfast, they're just, oh, this is how I'm doing it. I'm going to always do it this way. At some point, you might just go out of business. So, and you might not. you might think, well, I haven't hit what I want to hit before I want to change the business. And that's okay too. We're not where I want to be yet, but we're moving forward. And that's really all that matters. So we're constantly evolving, constantly moving. And, it's what you have to do, especially when your company is this. It's two people. We're both wearing a lot of hats, and we're going to continue to wear more hats. I was developing something in the DR. I was developing a new product, and Stefanie was answering customer service. It's just how it is. It's just, you've as much fun as it is to take time off. We really,
you're never fully off.
You just start to realize, like, hey, I need to keep moving on this, and I need to keep learning. Like I'm learning code and all kinds of other things, and you can learn from each other too. Like if I could sit down with Eric Addison and do a lighting course from him, it'd be like a master's class in lighting. So you'd be surprised at who's in your circle that you can learn from. So never stop learning and never stop evolving, and certainly don't be afraid of continuing to change and move forward. I mean, we've changed our website like 9 times. We've changed our service, how we serve our servers. Our servers have been crashed. Our servers have been hacked. Everything's a learning process. We used to initially serve our files locally on the servers.
Yep.
And so when someone was downloading heavy, like, every once in a while you get this customer who buys and it'll click, 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 click. When you run the server, that kills it. On Amazon's like, it's no big thing, but that's a learning process. So keep learning.
Yeah, and I really
Eric says he highly doubts that. Oh, are you kidding me, dude? Come on, man.
Yes.
Masterclass. Seriously. We need to do Addison live. You need to be on our show, but we need to do Eric Addison live in living color. So what's next?
We're talking about giving up. So that's our second topic, and I'm going to hold on 1 second. Let me do this.
Stand by for the TD. I like what Kevin stops. Never stop, never stopping. That has got to be a shirt. Someone's got to make that shirt, and I will buy it, wear it, and just only the shirt. So make it sure it's long. Mark Foley said, "Did you guys do new lighting?" I don't think so. It's possible. When we're not in the studio, the cats like to run around and knock things over, so it's entirely possible. Don't know. So yeah, giving up. We get this question a lot, and oftentimes it's people asking us for permission to give up. And that's really what it is. A lot of times when people come to you with information, it's really more about them and not about you. And that's okay. I'm not going to give you permission to give up. I'm not going to tell you don't give up. Or actually, I'm going to tell you don't give up. I'm not going to tell you to give up ever. If you're running a business that's just no longer necessary and you've run out of business, then maybe you need to change your business. But I'm never going to say, hey, it's time to give up. That's ridiculous. It's super easy to feel like it, especially in this industry. This industry is pretty lonely.
Yeah,
right?
It's okay to feel this way.
Yeah, it's absolutely okay. It's okay to feel like you want to give up, but it's not okay to give up.
Right. I think it's something that you will struggle with, and you will, it's not a daily thing, but even if it is a daily thing, it's something that I think everybody goes through where you're just finally like, wouldn't it be easier if?
Yeah.
So.
And the reality is no. I mean, the grass is always greener, or whatever you want to say. But, thinking about, wow, if I didn't have all these responsibilities and I could just do this thing. But then, in reality, you have to make up for whatever income you're losing. And you're going to go through a period of mourning or loss. It's okay to feel down. There are days where I can't create to the level that I've set for myself. And I get really frustrated and mad at myself. I'm very destructive to myself personally when it comes to stuff like that. And then there are days you're like, oh, blah, 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 and it's like, cool. You send it off to your friends or your beta team. And you're like, hey, that's great. But it's not okay to foster that thought that it's just as hard. If this was easy, we'd all be doing it, right? Running a business has been the hardest thing I've ever done in my entire life.
The hardest, for sure.
And the hours are insane. And there are times where you're literally like, just want to flip the couch and say, I'm out of here. I'm done with this nonsense, Because you work really hard, and every once in a while you'll get this email that's really just designed to hurt you. It's not constructive. It's not really. They don't even really have a legitimate problem. It's just they have had a bad day and they just want to hurt somebody, and you just happen to be their target. And that hurts, and that makes you want to go, what is this all worth? Why do we do this? We've gotten some pretty nasty messages. We've gotten great ones too. Don't get me wrong, but it's not okay to give up. So if you feel like I just can't do this anymore. One quick trick, if you have room, is to tear your office apart and move it to another room in the house. I know that sounds crazy, like, wow, that's a long time, but the process of changing your environment can actually spark creativity. You're not in the same place anymore. You're like, oh, okay, yeah, I can get used to this. So back in the day, before we had the situation we have now, we used to move my office and your office a lot every couple months.
Yeah.
And it actually helps. Plus the the monotony of unplugging the gear and resetting it up. Your brain has time to work out things, and all of a sudden you're like, that's a really great idea, and you write it down.
Yep.
Now, of course, if you can't do that, by changing your environment, go for a walk. Go to, whatever you like. If you like hiking, or if you like going to theme parks, or riding roller coasters, whatever inspires you, or go to big cities or whatever. Work on your car. Go to a baseball game. Whatever inspires you, go do that. Just let your mind kind of wander for a minute, and you most likely will get your creativity back. But it's quite all right to feel this way.
Yeah, take a vacation.
Yeah, if you can,
like we just did. Although the resort we went to was
not a vacation,
not very fun and very nice. But
look, the drinking age is 18 there, and there were like 16 to 18-year-olds just getting completely plowed. So they come from all of the South American countries to drink there, and it's just not fun. It's not a fun place. I now understand why the drinking age is 21 in the United States, because I've seen it firsthand. Yeah, if you think 21-year-olds are young, 16-year-olds are really young.
Yikes.
And they just go crazy because they don't know what's up. So whatever you think would happen if you drink too much, we watched it in all its glory, and it was just not the best. You kind of felt like a chaperone at a prom. It's like, I'm not doing shots while these kids are doing shots. It ain't gonna happen, So it's just, we just hung out in the ocean. That's
but it was nice. So taking a vacation, we needed to refresh and regroup and
for sure,
and sort of come back to center. So that was a nice change for us. And even though we did work and customer service and stuff on vacation, it doesn't feel like work when you're, again, changing your environment and being in a different place. So definitely changing it up and making yourself feel more inspired. Oh, and also talk to people. Talk to other people to inspire you. Talk to people who are going through the same thing. You can always talk to us. We're always here.
I'm literally always here.
Yeah, so you can
to the chair.
Talk to colleagues, peers, friends, and say, "This is what I'm going through. How are you dealing with this, or how are you feeling?" And even if you're just a sounding board for them, it helps you sort of understand where you're coming from. That you're not alone, and that there's the path that you're on is the right path that you're supposed to be on. So.
Mark Foley just wrote he's going to open up a hot dog stand. You know what? There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, you're probably joking, but you might find something like that to be fun and just a mindless thing to do. I mean, we work on projects and stuff all the time that are just we're just part of things that have nothing to do with what we do at Rampant, and it's just fun. It's just fun to be silly and stupid. We help people. We actually help people make travel plans, which seems like a full-time job, but we just really it's just fun because we know everything about Orlando and about a lot of cruising and stuff. So our friends call us up and we just help them make plans with Disney or Universal or cruise ships or whatever. It's just a stupid thing that we know a lot about. So we're just like, yeah, we don't charge for it. And
it's just fun for us.
It's just mindless fun. And right in the middle of us debating, like, should we have them do this or have them do that? We're like, hey, we should do this thing for Rampant. So it's good to get your mind off the main subject and eventually it'll come to you. But it's okay to feel like giving up. I feel like giving up all the time, just because there's a lot of hate, and you just get tired. Sometimes, you're doing, when you work 20 hours a day, 7 days a week for weeks on end, it actually gets to you. So, did Sean wear a Speedo? Yes, I did, Dave, and it was backwards. So paint that mental picture. Yikes.
Yikes.
Paul Watkins says paying bills is always easier on the beach. Welcome back. Thanks, Paul. Yes, and that's true. It is easier. If we could figure out a way to run Rampant from the beach, I would do it.
I think I want to sell some coconuts. Yeah. I think I want to be a coconut sales girl.
Yeah, well, it'll be a front for Rampant. It will still be. Does it have to be a front? Rampant's a legitimate business.
That would be a legitimate, would not be a front.
So coconuts in the front, style effects in the back. That's a t-shirt too. Ridiculous. Yes, Mark Foley says getting one thing a day done every day, no matter how small. That's true. That goes along with our mantra. Keep moving forward. It doesn't matter how much or how little you do, as long as you're constantly moving forward. Like when we first started this business, we didn't realize how much had to be done just to get the business going. Like, to get a business checking account, you have to have a business license of some kind, whether it's an LLC or a DBA or a corporation. Didn't know that, so we had to go through all that. And depending upon what state you live in order to do that, you also have to go and register with the state. So there's all these different things you have to do, but one thing at a time. Don't get overwhelmed. Just knock it out one thing at a time.
Yep.
And before you knew it, we had a PayPal account and a business account, and then we had an Amazon account, and it just goes on and on and on. Just a little bit every day. So threw me off with the Sean wear a Speedo thing. Yikes.
Good question, Dave. Good
Nobody
question.
want to see that. Drinking age is 19 in Toronto. I'm sorry, Kevin. That's frightening. I can only imagine the kinds of nonsense you see on the path, which, by the way, I really want to go to the path. Whole different story. And Canada's Wonderland.
Yes.
So what's next?
Our next topic would be building your circle.
Yeah, this goes in hand with what we said before about talking to other people about what you're feeling. Actually, one of my mentors is in the chat right now. Dave Balsuto runs Iographer. If you've never met him before, you need to check him out. He's probably one of the kindest people I've ever met in my entire life. He's also been a mentor to us, whether he likes it or not. He's constantly challenging us and helping us learn and pushing us, and he's made me a better entrepreneur. And he's a phenomenal entrepreneur.
Yes.
And if and when he decides to release a webinar or a book or a podcast, I'm number one in line to buy all of those things and subscribe to those things. He's the one who turned me on to Ask Gary Vee, which is an amazing book that changed my life. I have both a hardcover copy and the podcast, and or the audiobook, and it changed my life. I've listened to it twice now. There's so much great value in there that you can read it over and over again. But Dave has been one of 2 or 3 people in my life who have really changed the way I look at being an entrepreneur. And it's a marathon, it's not a sprint, and Dave's been amazing at it. And the great thing is he's been very accessible to me. So we talk in chat, we talk on text. He's even FaceTimed us to encourage us. I mean, this is like a fantastic human being. So if you don't know anything about Iographer, go to iographer.com, support him. We absolutely love and adore him. His family is family to us. And I would think that for me, the one other person in my life would be a composer and musician named Voice. He and I talk about branding and entrepreneurship, and we just keep each other motivated every week and all the time. I think the idea is to find somebody who's not in your direct field, someone who's not a competitor, and just talk to them, because entrepreneurship is all the same. It doesn't matter what you're building or selling or making. It's all the same. And I think the idea is if you can find someone to help keep you motivated and help keep you moving forward, that's the perfect, because your family's probably not going to understand. Your friends probably won't understand unless they're also running a business. Those people just can't encourage you because they don't get it. They're griping about their boss or some project, and so and so at work did this. It has nothing to do with what you're doing. And when you're like, well, I'm trying to figure out the ROI based on, they just, the eyes glaze right over. So you have to talk to somebody who understands. And the great thing is I can call up Dave and go, dude, I'm so sick of chargebacks. And he's not like, what's a chargeback? And he's like, oh no, here's what I do about that. I'm like, oh, thank God.
Yeah.
And it's like that constantly. Or he's like, hey, have you checked out this camera? Or, when we're talking about doing live shows, we first started with Blab, and he showed me all these other Blab alternatives, and then, Switcher Studio. And then Dave just did this amazing tutorial series about Wirecast. So, it's just one of those things where he subscribes to continually learn. Every single time I talk to Dave, he's reading a new book, learning this new thing, trying out this new technique. So he's keeping us on our toes, helping me keep my game up and your game up.
Yep.
And that's what it's all about. You can't just be stagnant as an entrepreneur. And I love that. And really, if Dave needs to start a second business of just being like the entrepreneur helpline, and just, you Snapchat him or you FaceTime him and he charges you by the minute, I would pay that.
That'd be good. I also want to say about building your circle. It's great to have people that are non-related to your field. So just, we're talking about businesses that aren't directly related, but they are sort of related. Just be mindful of egos that people have. And I'm not saying this is a bad thing. Just if somebody's in your space and they sell the same thing that you sell, they're when you're talking about things, they could get a little offended, or it's the possibility of their ego getting, hurt or whatever. So it's kind of, it's an important thing.
Or it can be more nefarious than that. Unfortunately, in this industry, you'll have people, when you say, hey, I've got this idea and there's this thing, and really you're just talking to help yourself facilitate what you're trying to do. They're mentally writing down going, that's a fantastic idea and I can't wait to implement it because it's now mine. Unfortunately, we've run into that personally, where there was someone who decided, oh, hey, I'm just going to go ahead and just take everything that Sean's saying, reword it, send out a press release and make it my own, and then make a video saying, hey, look what I've made. It's all our stuff. The good thing is we have really loyal fans who went, hold on a second, I've got those. Those are Rampants. So that's awesome, and we love our community for that. So, but yeah, when you're talking with people in the same industry, be careful that you're not going to feed them and they could rip you off. I'm not saying everybody would. Like if I'm just going to pick on Eric because he's in the chat room right now. If Eric Edison called me up and said, hey, I want to do this thing with my business, I wouldn't be going, great idea, buddy. No, I'd be like, I just talk to him back and forth and be like, hey, that's great. So just find out the people who you can trust. And we're about to collaborate with somebody right now that I believe we can trust. And I can't talk about it yet because it's not official yet, but the ink has just hit paper basically. But this person has been really helpful and instrumental in talking about what they do with their business and what we do with ours, and we're in the same industry, right?
Yeah.
So, but you just got to be careful.
I don't know if something's cracking in the microphone.
Is there?
Yeah.
So I need to get one of those, an ego, lol. Oh, Kevin, you're just a wealth of knowledge, though. You don't have an ego. So yeah, just be careful. Be careful of who you if you're gonna reach out to people in this industry. Be careful of who you reach out to. Just try to reach out to a related industry or someone as far out as possible. Like that's why I love talking to Dave. We're not competitors by any stretch of the imagination, so we can freely discuss no matter what. And same with Voice. He's a musician, so it doesn't matter.
But definitely don't forget about that extended circle either. It's very important to have inner people that you can actually contact and call, but your extended circle where people that they're not attainable is to call. We can't call up Gary Vee and say, hey, what's going on? Here's what I'm feeling today.
Oh, we can call him.
Well,
he's not going to pick up the phone.
He's not going to take the call. So have an extended circle as well, on the outside of your inner circle. That's your books, your podcasts, your vlogs, whatever you do every day to...
Oh, wow.
Nice.
So Dave just bought Niagara for design tools. He's like, I guess I'll scrap it. Thanks, Dave. That negates everything I've just said. Okay, show's over, everybody. Thanks.
So build your circle out. It will help you. It will keep your foundation of your company and your sanity. So that kind of helps you keep going. And we're talking about giving up. It really helps, that feeling of giving up. And just build it up and fill your life with positivity.
Yeah, just surround yourself with people who understand. It's okay to talk to your family about your business or your friends about your business, but in our personal experience, we found that the majority of people who we talk to, or even who are in this industry, they don't understand. So, there's a huge difference between being a freelancer and running a business. So, try to surround yourself with people who understand and get you, and try to help it bring you up and not pull you down, basically. We've been getting a lot of emails about people who feel like they're giving up and they're reaching out, and we love that you reach out and continue. We are always here for you. Email us, call us, Snapchat us, Twitter us, whatever. Do you Twitter someone?
Tweet?
Tweet us. That
was my fault.
I'm going to fire our TD. Yikes.
Sorry about that, guys.
So she's still learning the software.
So that's about it
for this episode. Tomorrow night, we have an amazing guest on Rampant Live at 9 p.m. Eastern. It's the guy I was talking about, Voice. He is a composer, a musician. He's a video producer, a director. This dude makes you feel super lazy. He's unbelievable. And he produces video content every single day in addition to everything else he's doing. So it's going to be a really interesting show. He's got so much. He's very prolific. He released 45 tracks this year. 45 tracks. So that's a lot across 3 albums. So yeah, what else is there?
Did you want to show the site now that we can do that?
Yes.
Ooh.
So remember, even though we're doing this show live, you can see us every Monday, at 4 p.m. Eastern, right?
Right.
On
so
Facebook.
Here it is.
There you
Running
go.
Rampant.
Running Rampant. This show, Running Rampant, which is about us and our company, every Monday at 4 p.m. here on Facebook. If you miss it, you can go right here to runningrampant.biz. Runningrampant.biz right here, and you can check out all of our previous episodes. And of course, we've got audio versions and video versions. So if you want to listen at work or on your car or just mock us, you can. But you can always click the Watch Live button. It'll just take you to our facebook.com/rampantmedia. That's where all of our live stuff happens to be. And of course, every Tuesday and Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern, unless otherwise scheduled. So we sometimes have some people from all the way across the world. We change the time, but typically every Tuesday and Thursday is Rampant Live at 9 p.m. Eastern, where we have guests from all around the world. Like our last one was Kevin and Kevin McAuliffe, and it was amazing.
Yes.
So much fun. So if you missed it, go to rampantlive.com. Listen to this. It's great. And we've had Graham. We've had Adam Bedford. We've had all kinds of people. We had Dave as well back in the day. We had Brady Betzel from his car. That was awesome.
It's pretty epic.
So we're challenging our guests. You have to do something cool and different. Brady set the bar pretty high. He was in his car in L.A. So let's raise the bar, folks. Let's figure out something else creative. Like, I don't know. Maybe we'll get Kevin to do another one from the People Mover or something. So yeah, so that's about it. So please share this with your friends. Remember, rampantlive.com for Tuesdays and Thursdays. And
Tuesdays and Thursdays at 9 p.m.
9 p.m. And this show is Running Rampant. There's so many shows.
runningrampant.biz. Because it's all about the biz. The biz. Yes. So in the biz.
We'll sell you this graphic, Dave, for $10,000. Dave yelled fade to black. Yeah, well, that's Stephanie's fault.
Sorry, that was my fault. I'm so sorry.
Fault. She's still learning the software, but we did learn Wirecast overnight in one afternoon after setting up all the gear.
Thanks 100% to you, Dave.
Based on Dave's training. He's got crazy in-depth training. If Dave, you should probably throw up the URL to that training if you can. Otherwise, we'll definitely put it in the replay.
Yes.
But it was awesome because we were at the 11th hour trying to get this thing to work to see if there was a difference. We were testing with everybody, and we opened up Wirecast, and Steph's like, what do we do? And so we went to Dave's training, and now Steph is 90% there. I'd say she's 100% there, but she did throw up a black frame in a live broadcast.
I did mess that up a bit.
So I can't say she's at 100%, but she's close. So
I'm close. I'm 99.9% there. I now know. I understand what I did.
Awesome. So thanks, everybody, for watching. And tomorrow night, 9 p.m., is the world-famous Voice. If you don't know anything about him, go to Voice Music, VOICE, music.com, and that's who we're talking to tomorrow night at 9 p.m. And if you want to be on the show, go to rampantlive.com. Hit the deets are there, right?
Yes. Right, or you can, I believe they'll be in the description of this replay as well.
Or you can hit up Stefanie at sales@rampantdesigntools.com. We want you on the show. Rampant Live is all about you.
It's not about us.
It's all about us. Yeah, Rampant Live is all about you. Your story. So come on.
Be on the show.
Be on the show. Don't be a jerk. Just be on the show already, okay? Gosh. All right, guys. So thanks for watching, everybody, and hopefully our TD will throw us to the right graphic. Let's see.
I don't have that graphic.
So like I said, no
Talk
graphic.
amongst yourselves.
Talk amongst yourselves. Yeah, okay, cool. Dave put the link right there to the Iographer Academy, which is a really great idea. You can go ahead and click and learn Wirecast very quickly. See you, Eric. Deb says, good night, gatos. They're freaking out right now. We just had a big storm, Deb, so they are running around like crazos. And
we're almost there.
We're almost there.
Are you ready?
There it is. Okay,
all right,
the technical
guys,
director has got it. Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Gonna have to fire the TD. Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Hey, everybody, I'm Sean.
Hi, everybody, I'm Steph.
And I'm Sean.
I'm Steph.
And I'm Sean.
And I'm Steph.
But wait.
I hurt my leg.